All right, so an equation containing the square root of a binomial can also be solved by taking square roots. So the square of a binomial, that's when we have something like x plus 3 squared, right? We can solve this by taking square roots. So let's look at example number 2. So we have x minus 1 squared equals 25. So we've already got our squared term isolated, right? On the left side, all we have is our squared term. So now to solve, we just need to do the square root of both sides. So on the left side, we'll have x minus 1. And on the right side, the square root of 25 is plus or minus 5. Okay, so now when we are solving for x, we want to get x by itself. So we're just going to add 1 to both sides. And we're going to get x equals, then on the right side, we have 1 plus or minus 5, right? Because we could have positive 5 or negative 5. So we either have x equals 1 plus 5 or x equals 1 minus 5. 1 plus 5 is going to be 6. 1 minus 5 is negative 4. So those would be our two answers, our two solutions. All right, now let's look at example number 3. So with this one, we have our binomial term squared, right? Our x minus 5 squared. But this time it's not by itself. So remember, our first step when we're solving these is to always get the squared term by itself. Okay, so whatever you have that's squared, we want that by itself. So, well, we can add the 36 over, right? That'll get rid of that. So we have 2 times x minus 5 squared equals 36. Now we just have this 2 to deal with. Well, if we divide the 2 away, we'll have x minus 5 squared equals 36 divided by 2 is going to be 18. Okay, now we have our squared term by itself. So now we're going to just finish the rest of our steps where we take the square root of both sides. And then our last step, solve for x. Okay, so let's square root both sides. So we have the square root of x minus 5 squared and the square root of 18. So we're going to have x minus 5 equals plus or minus the square root of 18. Now let's check if we can simplify the square root of 18. Well, we know that 18 is 2 times 9. 2 won't break down, but 9 is 3 times 3. So we have a group of 2 3's that we can pull out, and our 2 is going to stay under the radical. So we know that x minus 5 is going to be equal to plus or minus 3 root 2. Right? That's the same as root 18. Okay, now we just need to get the x by itself. So let's add the 5 over. So we get x equals 5 plus or minus 3 root 2. And it doesn't matter which way you write it. You could also write x equals plus or minus 3 root 2 plus 5. Either way is correct. So now we just need to, and that is our answer actually, because we can't simplify that anymore, right? We can't add the root 2. So that is our final answer.